asymmetry morphs. So the easiest way I thought to find them was literally on your Genesis figure. You look for asymmetry, and then you have all these things. And I think hidden, ignore that. That's not something we need to worry about. So actor, then there's head, and then there's ears and face. So there's a ton of them in here, and like under base, let's start with base because there's a few others under brows and all that. But just to show you the basics, so the way this works, like asymmetry face, heart left and heart right. So if you go do that, and it's very subtle, but you see that part of the head here changes on that side. If you dial both up, then you have a symmetric heart shape going in there. But you can do it, you know, more or less on either side. So that's heart, and that's just the base for the face. Then there's face round, so that kind of the heart bulges out at the top, base here, and then you have square that does that on the bottom. And the idea is that if you use both of them together, you have like a full morph. But the idea here is that you can do one side a little less than the other. So that's the principle, and I thought that's quite nice. That's as an approach. And square is that this is basically the bulge out on the bottom. It's a little bit like the things we have in the meta mixer, but this is for base. So now you have the same stuff over brows. Brow height on the left, so you can change the brow height on the left and right independently. But all the expressions and all the other sliders will stay in place. So if that is what your figure looks like, if she raises one eyebrow, it'll always be, you know, offset against one another. Brow size also. So very granular what you can do there. This I think is better to be seen from the kind of from the side here. It's that bulge going out here. But only on one side, and then for the other side you have a different slider. Hours of fun, I'm telling you. So these, I think these will probably, I don't know if they're going to be in the base pack or if they're going to be in the characters essentials pack. The cheeks, same thing. Asymmetric jaw balance, because, you know, and subtlety really is the key here. It's nice, isn't it? Cheek size right and left independently. And then we have the eyes, also very cool. Crease height, left and right. That's this bit here at the very this here. Very nice. I love it when the Wii first came out. Lower, relax, left. Very granular control you have there. And if you needed more, then remember you can always switch off the limits here. Don't use limits or put different limits in. And then, you know, don't be surprised if you have like monster eyes. So yeah, if you ever needed more or less, you can just go and override the limits. I'll go put it back in place just in case here. I love it when the Wii came out and you had the option to create your own Mii, and there were only very few features that you can change, like 12 different noses and 3 different eye types, but then also the eye height and the nose height and the mouth height in the face, and it's quite impressive how much those basic features really shape a face. Brian knows about this because he makes his own characters in Character Creator, and they've had these types of adjustments for a while. It's really cool to see this in Genesis now implemented. Oh yeah, this is nice here. This is the asymmetry eyes angle, so you can turn the eyes. And those types of things, it's unbelievable what that makes as a difference for the personality position. This is like in out, like the depth. Insane, isn't it? That's for the right. Then we have the position. So that's the thing I meant about the Wii. These things are kind of interesting. and how much of a change that makes. And yeah, again, you can, if you needed more, if you wanted to really go to extremes, you can either untick the limits box or set yourself different limits. So maybe like instead of 100, maybe you want to try 500, and then that eye can go much further up. So if you needed it, and asymmetric, so independent of one another, and it's just these small subtle changes that make humans, isn't it? What else? Eye position, height, right? Oh, that's that. Eye position, width. So it's almost like you don't necessarily need to take a character into ZBrush anymore. You have so much control inside DAZ Studio that you can do that. There's another change actually for PAs. That's interesting. This wasn't previously available, but from now, if you're a DAZ PA, you can use these things as merchant resources if you purchase that pack on the store. So you can make fine adjustments here, and say you've worked for days and you have adjusted 200 different sliders. You can export that out as an OBJ, import that back in, and then sell that as a character if you have these products. So that's the kind that if you have these merchant resource products, so that is allowed if you're DAZ PA. So which is cool, which is really nice. It's all the more reason to become a DAZ PA if you're interested in this sort of thing. My God, there's so many others here. I've just filtered it by asymmetric, didn't I? So these are all the ones that are not related to asymmetry. Let me go filter that out again. There's mouth as well. Just wanted to show you the mouth thing. Mouth angle. Also asymmetric. Mid curve. Phenomenal. And then we have lower lip thickness. So if I didn't want to go back into R3DS Wrap and fix my mouth, I can maybe even do it with these sliders here. Sweet. Yes, asymmetry sliders. And then there is nose. There's just a ton of them here. And this I think is like a left-right type slider. What else? Oh yeah, that's the nose tip. Left and right. So yeah, that's the asymmetry ones, I think. Size, you can blow the nose up on one side. Very cool. Very cool. Let's go render her out, hopefully with all this asymmetry disabled. Yes, I think I've got everything disabled. I think I reset everything to 0.